Three albums that I think changed worship music and helped launch the modern worship genre. In fact, I think one of those albums may be the greatest worship album ever produced. And we're talking about them right now, right here. Check it out. Hey, Jeremy here with the Simple Worship Leader channel, the place where we talk about all things worship and offer simple tips, tricks, tools, and ideas to help enhance your worship leading strategy. Before we start today, be sure to like this video, share this video, and leave a comment below so that I know that you've been here. Today, we're talking about worship, and in particular, we're talking about three specific albums that I think changed the face of worship music. In fact, I would say that they laid the foundation for the modern worship genre that we are in right now. The first album that came along and changed worship music was a little-known album in 1999 called Enter the Worship Circle. Enter the Worship Circle was a project between two bands, a band called Waterdeep and a band called 100 Portraits. The two bands came together to record a project of new original music that was based upon the Psalms. And at first glance, the album kind of came off a little bit campy, maybe a little bit hippie, because it kind of caught on in college and young adult gatherings. However, it quickly caught on because most of the songs were simple, easy to sing, and easy to play. So they became favorites among a lot of small group Bible studies and grew out from there into other gatherings. In fact, at least two of those songs became very well known during their time. One of those songs was called I Will Not Forget You. The other was called You Are So Good to Me. Both of those songs were later recorded by Christian music artists, and they just took off. They can still be heard on the radio today and even still sung in many churches. The second album that I think helped lay the foundation for modern worship was an album from Passion. It was 1999's Better Is One Day. This was only the second music release from Passion conferences, but it had quite a punch. It offered a level of worship music that we hadn't quite experienced before. It was a live recording, and it introduced us to some great new music. Songs like I Found Jesus, Let Everything That Has Breath Praise the Lord, Better Is One Day, The Heart of Worship. They even took an old Michael W. Smith song and turned it into this worship anthem. And it was amazing. I remember taking that CD and playing it over and over and over, and it over and over and over and over. I would play it from beginning to end and never skip a song. It was so good. But this album didn't just give us new music. It gave us new worship leaders who had become staples at Passion and become known in churches around the world for years to come. People like Charlie Hall, Christy Nockels, and Chris Tomlin. This album to me is hands down one of my all-time favorites. But I would say the way this album was made, the music it produced, and the time in which it came about are all reasons to make this one of the greatest worship albums that was ever created. But if it's not the greatest, then this next album has got to take the top of that list. It's Michael W. Smith's 2001 release, simply titled Worship. Just like these other two albums, this album gave us something new as well, and that was this: a mainstream contemporary music artist doing a worship album. You see, up to this point, worship music was still mainly left to publishing houses, specific worship bands, and artists. You didn't see it so much in the mainstream. But when Michael W. Smith came out with this album, it launched worship music to the forefront of mainstream Christian music. You see, Michael W. Smith didn't really give us any new music in this album. In fact, he just took some of the more popular songs of the day and recorded them. Songs like Open the Eyes of My Heart, Breathe, and Chris Tomlin's Forever. But it wasn't long after this that more and more mainstream Christian artists began releasing worship albums. Everyone from Stephen Curtis Chapman, Third Day, even the O.C. Supertones. During this time, worship began to grow. It even launched a worship band that became known for just doing worship music. They were called Sonic Flood. And in truth, I probably just dated myself. So I think these three specific albums help set the stage for the modern worship genre that we are in now. Now, before you all at me in the comments, I know there are probably other great bands and albums that should be on this list. Maybe artists like Keith Green should be on this list. And surely we stand on the shoulders of some giants in the worship world. So whether good or bad, I think these three albums hold a specific place in helping to launch the modern worship era that we are in today. But what do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Are there others who should be on this list? Who do you think are among the greats? Leave me a comment below and tell me what you think. And as always, thanks for stopping by the Simple Worship Leader channel, and I'll see you next time.